What is the Guest Safety Officer Lobby Group? The Guest Safety Officer Lobby Group exists to provide a free, independent voice for all the professional people out there on the ground who do everything they can to facilitate civilized spaces within venues operating in the social economy. What is the social economy? The social economy is the place where people go to enjoy their out-of-home leisure activities, things they do after they've finished work. It consists of the events, hospitality and leisure sector, including some large retail centres. What is a guest safety officer? A guest safety officer is a professional customer-facing individual. They're an individual whose primary role is being a trusted point of contact for their employers' clients, and the customers visiting their clients' venues. They may be SIA licensed or fulfill the role of steward. They predominantly work in pubs, clubs, theatres, stadia, and at festivals, etc. What makes them a professional guest safety officer? Well, that's a good question, and it's worthy of a great answer. But invariably, they are expected to pay for all or most of their own training, the cost of which runs into hundreds, if not thousands of pounds. Once they've had this training, they are then held legally responsible for the consequences of their actions. Why call them guest safety officers? Because this name is more representative of the professional requirements of their work in the public domain. These are people who make a vital contribution to public safety across a variety of settings. Inevitably, it is they who will be the real first responders to catastrophic events. It is they who will be the ones helping people who've made bad personal choices find a safe space in which to recover. Yet their positive contributions are routinely ignored or diminished. Consequently, it is no longer right or proper to call them anything other than guest safety officers. How can calling them guest safety officers help public safety? The reality is, guest safety officers are already effectively part of the emergency services, as they are more often than not the first responders to a scene when incidents occur within the social economy. So when people use terms like steward, door steward, or worst of all, bouncer, it dehumanizes that person. They are no longer viewed as human beings there to help keep them safe. Instead, it undermines their authority. It encourages people to believe it's acceptable to ignore or challenge their decisions. This invariably creates the potential for unnecessary confrontation which sometimes has catastrophic consequences. So anyone who thinks using the term bouncer is an acceptable way to describe the modern professional person performing in this role needs to have a chat with themselves. This is especially relevant to those who choose to refer to themselves in this way. This is why the name guest safety officer lets people know they are dealing with a human being whose sole purpose is to keep them, their friends, and their family safe. A human being who comes to work hoping everyone enjoys themselves and gets to go home safely, including themselves. Who can most influence the adoption of the term guest safety officer? Well, the government at local and national level. For instance, the Security Industry Authority, SIA, can be the Home Office lead on this project. They can be assisted by all the other national and local departments. If they can champion super campaigns like Enough, Ask Angela, Just Say No, or even referring to people by their pronouns, then this shouldn't really be a major challenge. Also, the role of the out-of-home leisure sector. The sector needs to do absolutely everything within its power to promote a positive professional image of itself to the public. Survey after survey shows safety is one of the key factors the public use when deciding to go out and what time they'll go home. Conclusion. The fiscal and legal benefits to all involved are immense. A better trained and more professional workforce protects both employer and client. A better informed and socially aware public will help reduce the potential for conflict, a critical factor in time-sensitive emergencies. And also, the police and courts will perhaps be more inclined to support the efforts of the UK's real first responders to encourage and facilitate the safe enjoyment of the public in liminal environments.